I came across a post online. What should I do if I suspect my boyfriend gave me secondhand cosmetics? I clicked in wanting to comment break up with him, but then I realized the cosmetics in the pictures were mine, and the guy who stole my stuff just sent me a message. It's just a crappy suitcase, 200 yuan should cover it. 1. I recognized the cosmetics in the girl's post only because of the markings I'd made before. I zoomed in carefully to inspect them, confirming these were indeed from my stolen suitcase. My suitcase was stolen on the high-speed rail when returning to campus a week ago. It still hasn't been returned to me. This post gained significant traction, with many netizens fanning the flames. They claimed the girl's boyfriend must be seeing someone else, and these were just worthless cast-offs. The girl grew anxious and quickly followed up with another post. The photos showed clothes from my suitcase. Can you guys help identify this brand? My boyfriend said it's expensive, but I feel like someone's worn them before. If the markings could be coincidental, these clothes absolutely couldn't be mistaken. Rage surged through me. Judging by the posting time, they'd had my belongings for at least 2 days. I had been arguing with that thieving guy for 3 days, and he kept making excuses about being busy. Just as I was about to confront him, the guy sent me a message. Sorry, my mom went through your suitcase and threw away some old clothes. My mom doesn't know how to ship packages. I'll send your suitcase back at the end of the month when I'm on break. I'm not sure exactly what's missing. My mom's uneducated, so she couldn't explain clearly. Don't make a big deal out of it. Connecting this to the girl's post, I instantly realized that thrown away really meant given away to someone else. Even the so-called mom he kept mentioning was likely a fabricated character. From start to finish, he was the only one who had tampered with my suitcase. He had given all the valuable items inside to his girlfriend. All these days, I had been sincerely trying to negotiate and propose solutions in good faith. Despite my frustration, I had only asked him to cover the shipping costs to return my suitcase. I hadn't even demanded compensation. But now it was clear he never intended to return anything from the beginning. I couldn't be bothered to waste any more time arguing with him. I sneered, "What do you mean by old clothes? All the clothes in the suitcase were bought within the last 3 months, and each cost over 4 figures. If they're really lost, you'll just have to compensate me." 2. I couldn't get a business class seat when returning to school. The suitcase was too heavy, so I simply left it by the luggage storage rack. When I discovered the suitcase was missing, I immediately reported it to the police as theft. At that time, all the suitcases on that rack were black except mine, which was pink. So there's absolutely no possibility of mistaken pickup. Through a joint investigation by the police and train attendants, the boy who took my suitcase was identified via surveillance footage. Xiaopeng, according to ticket information, should also be a college student. Though his suitcase was right in front of mine, he deliberately bypassed it, moved 2 other suitcases aside, and took mine. The entire action was executed smoothly. If I weren't the actual owner of the suitcase, I might have doubted it was his. The suitcase itself was limited edition merchandise I'd scrambled to get, worth over 2,000. Not to mention it contained all my daily necessities, cosmetics, and skincare products, altogether worth at least 30,000 yuan. There's no way I'm swallowing this loss silently. But at most, this case can only constitute a civil dispute. If the other party insists it was a mistake, I wouldn't even be able to claim compensation. The police told me to negotiate it myself first. I kept my wits about me. Worried he might refuse the friend request, I didn't mention the suitcase. Perhaps because my profile picture clearly showed I was female, he quickly accepted. His most recent social media post was about school club recruitment. Great, at least now I knew which school he was from. I quickly took screenshots as evidence, then began negotiating the suitcase's return. He hemmed and hawed, first claiming he thought the suitcase was his. When I pointed out what his actual suitcase looked like, he backtracked and said he'd grabbed the wrong one in his rush to get off. From start to finish, not a single word of truth came out of his mouth. When I demanded the suitcase back, he had the gall to say that upon realizing his mistake and noticing it was a woman's suitcase, he'd sent it to his younger sister back home. I never expected you'd actually track me down. When I checked his profile again, he'd already blocked me. 3. To be honest, I usually come down hard on this kind of scoundrel. But his shamelessness exceeded even my expectations. Even though he knew I had reported to the police, he still pretended to cooperate enthusiastically on the surface while making all sorts of excuses in reality. This left me furious with nowhere to vent my anger. And the police never take such civil disputes seriously anyway. Seeing his seemingly good attitude made it even harder to take any measures against him. Now seeing that he had given the items to his girlfriend, The suppressed rage in my heart could no longer be contained. But when Xiaopeng saw my message, he was the first to explode. My mom said they're just a few old clothes, how could they possibly be that expensive? Don't try to scam me. Humph. According to his girlfriend's post, he clearly knew their worth when he gave them away. And now he is pretending to be clueless. I told you, I'll definitely return the suitcase to you. I'm right here, it's not like I'll run away. It's just some old clothes, would my mom lie to me? Fine, I'll compensate you, but don't try to extort me. How could a college student afford such expensive stuff? If you were really that rich, you'd be flying first class already. He sent a series of voice messages in a row, his tone both furious and anxious. Just as I pressed the voice call button ready to start scolding, he said again, "All right, I need to go to work now. Don't disturb me unless it's important. I'll contact you when I mail the suitcase back to you." How dare this thief act so arrogantly in front of me like some big shot? After having my call hung up twice in a row, I demanded compensation directly from him. I don't want the suitcase anymore, nor anything inside it. Then I got blocked. Sometimes anger becomes so absurd you have to laugh. He was gambling that my threats were just empty words. But I'm not some easy pushover. I started contacting lawyers to prepare litigation, though the process proved complicated and promised to be drawn out. I didn't want Xiaopeng to keep flaunting during this period. Through his school's admissions office phone number, I contacted the school leadership. After explaining the situation, all I got was bureaucratic talk from the administrator. After beating around the bush, his implication was that it was my fault for not watching my luggage properly. With so many students at the school, he couldn't be bothered with such trivial matters. I was furious but helpless. The school always protects its own. It would be hard to get a teacher to directly intervene on my behalf. So instead, I thought of his girlfriend. 5. I privately messaged his girlfriend through the platform. "I think your boyfriend might have mistakenly taken someone else's belongings last time. My boyfriend accidentally took the wrong suitcase too." I was being as tactful as possible. To my surprise, the girl responded excitedly, "So you're saying he wasn't cheating on me behind my back?" I was speechless. This girl had romance on the brain. "What I mean is these items might belong to someone else. If your boyfriend took them by mistake, he should return them, otherwise it's theft. If that's really the case, then what a huge bargain. These items add up to tens of thousands, and selling them would be a considerable sum of money." My heart tightened, realizing the situation wasn't as simple as I thought. I had no choice but to probe further. "Last time, the owner who lost those items came forward, and we compensated them." The girl grew agitated. "Compensate for what? They were picked up anyway. Let her go find them if she can. And what proof does she have that these things are hers? No way I'd pass up such an easy gain, unlike you foolishly paying just because someone says so." I was utterly ashamed by her twisted moral compass. A single blanket can't cover two different kinds of people. No wonder they ended up together. Even if I told her the truth, she'd just side with Xiaopeng. I had to abandon the idea of making her my ally. But the thought of this girl using my cosmetics with her opportunistic mindset made me even angrier. After tossing and turning for half an hour, I switched to a burner account and DM'd her. "Hey sis, those clothes and makeup were all bought for me by my boyfriend. I just didn't want them anymore, so consider yourself lucky." 6. I've observed Xiaopeng's girlfriend's account. Every single post revolves around Xiaopeng. So what matters most to her is whether Xiaopeng truly has only her in his heart. After sending this message, I received her reply in less than 3 seconds. I deliberately left her hanging without responding. An hour later, my private messages were nearly flooded. The girl went from her previous arrogance to gradually losing composure. Internally, I was actually thrilled. Someone emotionally unstable and gullible is easier to handle. I sent her a few purchase receipts, then took some of Xiaopeng's chat messages with me out of context and forwarded them. Sure enough, the girl completely believed it. Under my continuous guidance, she revealed Xiaopeng's class information. A third-year university student. His so-called part-time job was just a school-arranged internship. Even his workplace details were uncovered by me. I thought, if push comes to shove, I wouldn't hesitate to use the dirtiest tactics. Shortly after angering Xiaopeng's girlfriend into leaving, I was unblocked from the blacklist. I saw his girlfriend had posted new accusations about his infidelity. Xiaopeng practically rage-texted me in 0 frames. "Do you even realize this is doxing? What did my girlfriend ever do to you? How dare you investigate me behind my back? This is illegal." I couldn't hide my disdain. "I was just having a friendly chat with your girlfriend. If you think I broke the law, go report to the police." Then lying to her counts as fraud. I watched new messages keep popping up in the white chat box, equal parts furious and amused. If he knows the law, why did he steal my suitcase? If he doesn't know the law, why keep throwing legal jargon at me? Not wanting to waste more time, I cut through his anger. If you think I broke any laws, just go report it. Stop yapping at me, it's noisy. Unlike you, I don't have this kind of free time. You either transfer the money now, or quietly wait for court summons. Every additional word you say will become evidence for my lawsuit, understand? To his credit, Xiaopeng actually stopped messaging. Soon after, he asked me for the purchase receipt. I was well prepared and directly compiled it into a document to send over. It even included photos of the items I took after packing my luggage. Everything can be cross-checked with the bill to avoid you accusing me of scamming you. After receiving the file, he remained silent for a long time. Just when I thought he was scared off by the amount, he suddenly softened his tone to negotiate with me. I'll get all the items back from my girlfriend. She barely used anything, you can rest completely assured about that. Additionally, I'll compensate you with 100 yuan for the damages, okay? 7. I didn't want to hurt his pride, but his words were simply too ridiculous. There wasn't even a hint of sincerity visible. Instead, it felt like he was condescendingly offering me charity with that 100 yuan. I told you long ago that the suitcase alone costs over 2,000 yuan. The fact that you got the contents means you definitely broke my lock. 100 yuan won't even cover lock repairs. Moreover, you've already given the items to your girlfriend. Regardless of whether she used them or not, what if you retaliated by adding something harmful? What would I do then? Right now I only accept monetary compensation. I won't accept return third-hand goods from others. My words angered Xiaopeng once again, but he probably had reservations about the information I knew, so his tone wasn't as aggressive as before. He started brainwashing me. You're just a college student, why would you need such expensive things? Don't your parents' hard-earned money count? My family really has no money. I even pay my tuition by working part-time. My suitcase only cost 99, I never imagined one could cost over 2,000. Couldn't you go easier on someone like me? I truly can't afford the amount you're asking for, but the items were barely used, I can return them all. If you want slightly more compensation, I could skip a few meals this month, and give you another 100. Looking at those words on my phone, I felt relieved that my food had already been digested. There are always people who use being disadvantaged as a shield after causing trouble, while also accusing you of asking why they don't eat cake instead. My parents earn more than yours, okay? They can afford my extravagance. Don't bother preaching to me here, your hardships have nothing to do with me, and your current suffering is your own fault. If you knew your suitcase was cheap, you shouldn't have stooped to such despicable behavior. Fine, I can't afford to mess with you rich people. He used this line as his closing remark. I couldn't be bothered to waste any more time either. Originally, I planned to contact his internship employer to track him down, but with so much schoolwork and midterms coming up, the plan had to be shelved again. All I could do was check in with the lawyer daily to see how the process was progressing. This calm didn't last long. Ever since that day, my phone kept ringing with unknown calls and receiving vulgar text messages. At first, I thought it was just scam calls due to leaked personal information. Then one day, I accidentally answered one, only for a man on the other end to ask if I was available. 8. I cursed him out, but he acted wronged, insisting I was the one who had shared my contact details first. It dawned on me lately, some classmates had been giving me odd, hesitant looks in passing. I couldn't help but ask one more question, but the other end immediately hung up the phone. I found the male classmate who had previously wanted to express something to me, and under my repeated questioning, he sent me screenshots from a group chat. My phone number was posted on some website. The label was "Girl who's easy to hook up with." Moreover, someone anonymously spread my information in university group chats, accompanied by such vulgar descriptions that they could get the group banned. As it spread around, it naturally reached our school. Someone recognized me from my profile picture, but never dared to confirm it or speak up, because according to the description, I was a fake socialite who earned money by selling my body. But I've always been well liked in class and known for my generosity. Adding to that, my mother an outstanding alumna donated to the school, so people basically knew who I was because of. Xiaopeng stared at me intensely. I responded, I won't forgive him, just detain him directly. Otherwise, my cross-city taxi ride would be wasted. Although I'm busy, I couldn't swallow this insult. I took half a day off specifically to file a report in Xiaopeng's city, just to witness him being arrested with my own eyes. The stalemate didn't last long before Xiaopeng couldn't hold back anymore. He conceded defeat. Sorry, I was just fooling around. I didn't expect so many people to see it. Well, when you first stole my suitcase, you didn't expect me to find you either. I teased, and his expression instantly turned sour. I turned to the police and said, I won't accept any private settlement. His actions have severely disrupted my daily life. I don't need compensation, but he must be detained. The officer nodded, then looked helplessly at Xiaopeng. If there's no reconciliation, you'll be detained for 5 days. Xiaopeng guiltily averted his gaze and muttered, but I'm still a student. Watching his aggrieved yet stubborn demeanor, I nearly burst out laughing. I finally understood why he dared to repeatedly provoke my limits. Propping my arms up, I smirked at him. Didn't you say you'd quit school long ago? So what if you're a student now? Adults must take responsibility. Does being a student exempt you from arrest? I want to call my academic advisor. He stuttered, his face flushing crimson. No, I demand to consult with my advisor. As he spoke, he suddenly stood up and slammed against the desk, startling even the police officers. I nodded in agreement. Fine, call your advisor. Better yet, bring some administrators too. My luggage issue still isn't resolved. 10. Xiaopeng's girlfriend arrived before his advisor. Upon seeing her boyfriend detained, she burst into heartbreaking sobs the moment she entered. She rushed at me, shouting, How dare you arrest my boyfriend? You dirty slut sleeping around for money, how dare you call the police? I'll report you for prostitution. This even made the officers chuckle. Miss, you'll need evidence for such claims. I have proof. All those expensive things she buys, either she slept for them or earned them herself. How could a college student afford such luxuries? Xiaopeng's girlfriend put on an indignant pose, her face full of disdain toward me. But when I asked her to produce evidence, she could only repeatedly say I wasn't worthy of using these things. I looked at the police officer. I can sue her for defamation and have her arrested too, right? So what if you're rich? Did you bribe the police to falsify testimony for you? Xiaopeng's girlfriend launched another verbal attack at me, but was forcefully restrained by the police, finally showing fear in her expression. Miss, slandering police officers is serious enough to land you in jail for a few days. The officer spoke sternly, making her instinctively shrink back before casting resentful looks my way. Xiaopeng anxiously called out from inside, telling her to stop making reckless statements. The pair did rather resemble star-crossed lovers in distress. Of course I felt no sympathy and proceeded to ask the police whether she could be detained. Being verbally abused is something that could be either trivial or serious. The police instructed Xiaopeng's girlfriend to apologize to me, suggesting this matter be resolved privately. But with eyes full of bitter resentment, she stubbornly refused to apologize, as if speaking to me would contaminate her. As the standoff continued, the academic advisor arrived. 11. Xiaopeng and his girlfriend saw their lifeline. They took turns telling their sob story to the advisor. Meanwhile, Xiaopeng's girlfriend kept stealing glances at me from the corner of her eye. The police shouted them down and recounted the full sequence of events. I didn't wait for the advisor to speak, cutting in first. No matter what's said today, I won't let Xiaopeng off. Since you're here, teacher, we can settle the matter of your student stealing my luggage. To everyone's surprise, Xiaopeng snapped, Who stole your luggage? I just took it by mistake, and I never said I wouldn't return it. Suppressing a laugh, I laid out all the evidence point by point. Teacher, I don't believe your institution would consistently condone such misconduct. Xiaopeng probably hadn't been completely truthful from the start. The advisor's face flushed crimson after seeing everything. Barely containing her anger, she glared at Xiaopeng. You only come to me after making such a huge mess. Xiaopeng clearly looked guilty as he lowered his head. Teacher, don't believe her. I'll handle these matters myself. Yeah, teacher, this woman is really going too far. If she makes us go to jail, will we still be able to graduate? The school can't just abandon us. As I watched their panicked and cowardly expressions, I really wanted to ask where this attitude was earlier. It's absolutely ridiculous to make mistakes and still expect the school to bail you out. The counselor bit her lip, her eyes scanning back and forth among the three of us. Understanding her dilemma, I simply took a step back. Xiaopeng will definitely have to face detention, but as long as he's willing to compensate for my suitcase, I can drop the lawsuit. Also, his girlfriend must apologize to me, or I'll proceed with the lawsuit regardless. The counselor didn't hesitate any longer and turned to discuss with them. Yet Xiaopeng's girlfriend kept making unreasonable demands. I refused to apologize to someone like her. How disgusting. What if those cosmetics were contaminated? If my face gets ruined, I'll make her pay. Enough. The counselor snapped at her. They're giving you a way out and you're still not satisfied. If you keep spouting nonsense like this, even bringing the principal here won't help. I crossed my arms, staring back at her with the same provocative gaze she'd used earlier. Under the counselor's mix of reprimands and coaxing, Xiaopeng finally agreed to compensate me. His girlfriend even switched attitudes and apologized to me. Sorry for how we handled things earlier. Please give us some extra time, we'll definitely pay you back by the end of the month. With their counselor as a guarantor, I couldn't press further. I promised to drop the case once I received the payment. 5 days later, I got my suitcase back. The lock had been pried open, but shockingly, everything inside was brand new, with tags still attached. I could hardly believe that someone unwilling to compensate 30,000 would actually buy me new replacements. Xiaopeng, who had just been released, proudly told me he'd purchased everything according to the list. All brand new, and I've returned the boxes too. Can you drop the lawsuit now? But when I checked, I finally saw the issue. Though everything was indeed new, without exception, the fakes were pitifully obvious. Some even had misspelled letters. I was beyond anger, just numb. It was downright laughable how blatantly they were treating me like a fool. I photographed each item and confronted Xiaopeng. Why buy fakes to trick me? What fakes? Did you even verify them? I bought everything online following your list. How could official sites sell fakes? Unless your list was fake from the start. He spoke with shameless conviction, shifting the blame back to me. You're just refusing to drop the lawsuit, aren't you? Who goes back on their word like this? I'm living on steamed buns just to buy these for you. What more do you want? Must you drive me to ruin? Truly, the man was a master of emotional blackmail. He used his own sob story to weaken my desire for compensation. If he really did something extreme, people would blame me for making such a fuss over just a suitcase. Thinking this, I calmed down and followed his lead by asking about his shopping list. Sure enough, he couldn't produce it and stammered that his girlfriend had placed the order on her phone. He had no information. Then go ask your girlfriend for it. Right now, the crackdown on counterfeits is strict. Fake one, pay tenfold. I can take this up with their official website and might even share some of the compensation with you. Xiaopeng panicked. He started rambling again, trying to divert my attention. From complaining that screenshots were too troublesome, he escalated to questioning interpersonal trust, then accused me of bullying him. Finally, under my relentless questioning, he cracked. Did you get less than what you paid for? How dare you call it fake? If it's on the market, that means it's usable. Who are you to judge its authenticity? So what if you're rich? I spent a month's living expenses on these items. It's all just brand markup. The ingredients are the same. Isn't replacing with identical items enough? Just wasting money on stupid taxes. My girlfriend says the stuff you bought is terrible to use. He crushed his last remaining chance. I couldn't hold back anymore and posted on their school's confession wall. 13. I didn't name names, but subtly described all of Xiaopeng's characteristics. Those who knew him would quickly figure out who it was. The comments section filled with classmates watching the drama unfold. Originally, no one knew about Xiaopeng's detention, but now, the whole school was buzzing. Soon, rumors about Xiaopeng began spreading. Xiaopeng's girlfriend was the first to jump in and refute. She loudly accused me of wrongdoing in the comments. So what if we took the wrong suitcase? We compensated for everything. How much could a student afford to buy genuine stuff anyway? Definitely knockoffs, yet she complains about fakes. Clearly just trying to extort money. Think we're easy targets. No one showed sympathy when these words came out. Instead, it confirmed the dirty deeds between her and Xiaopeng. LMAO, stealing from someone else's luggage to gift his girlfriend. First time seeing this kind of trash. Can you not claim to be from our school when you go outside? Getting admitted here was already embarrassing enough, and now we have to deal with this psycho. Broke but still trying to flex. Xiaopeng's girlfriend also faced attacks from fellow students. Moreover, it was said she was originally going to be rated as an outstanding class leader. But after her scandal broke, her rival pushed her down and she lost all honors. When Xiaopeng confronted me again, he was furious. My girlfriend had been an outstanding class leader for 2 straight years. You ruined her reputation with this mess. All her hard work over the past year gone just like that. She's devastated now. How are you going to make up for it? I fired back. I wasn't the one who exposed your girlfriend. She stuck her nose in this for your sake. If she's really that upset, that's on you as her boyfriend. Shouldn't you be comforting her instead? What you're doing counts as doxing. I'll sue you too. Go ahead, suit yourself. We can go to court together anyway. The compensation I'll pay certainly won't exceed yours. Of course I know this constitutes a violation of privacy rights, but in a real lawsuit, at worst I'd just have to apologize. Besides, I have just cause, and he probably doesn't even have the energy to win such a lawsuit. Without waiting for Xiaopeng to keep ranting, I blocked him. 14. During this time, the incident involving Xiaopeng and his girlfriend had already spread across various universities. Xiaopeng couldn't last at his internship and resigned voluntarily. His so-called college to undergraduate pathway would leave a permanent mark on his record, leaving him with no future prospects. As the saying goes, every pot has its lid. Him and his girlfriend better not go around ruining other people's lives. Frankly, I couldn't care less about this couple's mental state. Whether they threaten suicide or pick fights everywhere, nothing will weaken my determination to pursue compensation. Xiaopeng and our academic advisor called me several times, but I rejected all their calls. I waited until the court hearing, where I saw a weary-looking Xiaopeng. After my lawyer presented the evidence point by point, he started crying to the judge about his poor family circumstances. My family has farmed for 3 generations. My parents raised us for siblings by tilling the land. I have younger brothers and sisters below me. Their food, clothes, and schooling all cost money. 30,000 yuan is enough to support our whole family for a year. I really can't afford to pay. And the new things I bought for her cost over 300 yuan already. Of course, his performance of misery did not win him the final victory. My lawyer argued forcefully on my behalf, and in the end, we even secured an additional 1,000 yuan in compensation for emotional distress. When Xiaopeng left, his steps were unsteady. I could actually afford to wait slowly. If he kept refusing to pay, I would just apply for court enforcement. That would have made things even more dramatic. But he didn't give me that chance. Within 3 days, his mother from the countryside came to my school. 15. A plainly dressed woman with calloused hands knelt and cried before me, naturally becoming a striking scene on campus. I know my son did wrong. I'm apologizing on his behalf. Our family truly can't afford to pay this much money. The despair on his mother's face didn't seem fake, but her means of emotional blackmail didn't seem feigned. I'd had enough as his mother repeated their family's miserable circumstances yet again. Auntie, I don't care whether your family is wealthy or not. I didn't cause your poverty. The simple truth is you failed to educate your son properly. Had he not stolen from me or shown better remorse, things wouldn't have come to this. Now you're kneeling here trying to emotionally blackmail me. That only makes it harder for me to relent. His mother refused to listen, clutching my hand desperately to prevent me from leaving. She even attempted to kowtow to me publicly. A circle of classmates had gathered, drawn by the commotion. I asked them to call a teacher. Young lady, our whole family is counting on this son to make his fortune. You'll ruin his entire future like this. I looked up and saw Xiaopeng hiding not far away. Ha, truly the prized son of the family, making his mother stoop to such degrading behavior, while he himself lurked on the sidelines observing. I called out loudly for him to come over. Some meddlesome classmates half pushed him to the front. His mother's sobs grew louder. Xiaopeng furrowed his brows, clearly uncomfortable with being surrounded by so many onlookers. I teased him, what kind of man makes his mother kneel before me? Xiaopeng's brows knitted even tighter. Some classmates began jeering, fake tough guy. As the surrounding noise escalated, Xiaopeng stood as awkwardly as a rat crossing the street, rooted nervously in place. His mother pleaded with me even more desperately. Xiaopeng pulled at his mother, stop talking. Can't we just pay the compensation? Where would we get the money? Last time your schoolbook fees were paid, your father had to borrow. Seeing this aunt marked by time being treated without dignity actually pained my heart. But I could only blame her for having a son like Xiaopeng. I couldn't possibly let my offender go just because of their family's hardships. Alright then, I can accept Xiaopeng paying me back 1,000 yuan monthly on time instead of a lump sum now. As long as he transfers money to me on time every month, I won't continue with the appeal. His mother seemed to see hope and turned to him. Didn't I just give you 2,000 2 days ago? Can you transfer 1,000 to someone else first? Xiaopeng's expression darkened. Mom, the money is already spent. From beginning to end, he was the only one who touched my suitcase. Give me it. Suddenly occurred to me that maybe the money was spent on his girlfriend. After all, judging by previous updates, Xiaopeng had never skimped on his girlfriend. I took the opportunity to remind her, Auntie, did you know your son has a girlfriend? This money was probably spent on her. What girlfriend? Son, are you dating someone? Seeing the shocked look on Xiaopeng's mother's face, I understood. Xiaopeng glared at me angrily, as if blaming me for speaking out of turn. His mother urgently demanded that Xiaopeng try to get the money back first. That money was earned by your father working day and night for others. You can't just waste it like this. The mother and son began pulling and shoving each other. Before security arrived, Xiaopeng dragged his mother away. Later I learned that Xiaopeng spent at least 2,000 on his girlfriend every month under the guise of study expenses. No wonder the girl stuck with him through thick and thin. However, Xiaopeng's family members eventually confronted the girl too. Being unable to repay the money, the girl developed depressive symptoms after being harassed, couldn't hold her head up at school, and eventually dropped out. The parents from both sides had quite intense disputes behind the scenes. The girl's family kept demanding compensation from Xiaopeng's family. Classmates would secretly mock Xiaopeng. His story spread from school to school, earning widespread contempt. Finally, I successfully reached a peaceful agreement with him. He would transfer money to me on time every month. It seemed he'd found another job and moved out of campus. But whether he could graduate depended entirely on his own fortune. I checked the calendar, then sent him a message. It's payday today. Record number YXXBPQ1MPQYZKMF9K73ZZF91G.